We're doing one more, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I can do one more. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm enjoying this. I think it's fun.
Good.
Hello, YouTube. It's me, Great Aunt Lydia, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite things, and that is books. I love books. I love reading. I think books are magical. I think that we don't do enough reading. I think that books should be pushed more. As a society, we should do more reading. Whether that's audiobooks, I think audiobooks are great. Audiobooks are wonderful. As long as we're reading, I think that's a really important thing. And there is one book series that I know captured hearts and minds of generations of people. And that is the Harry Potter books. Now, I didn't read the Harry Potter books when they first came out. I know that KJ loved them. He grew up with them. I just read them a few weeks ago. Because I knew that we were doing this. I knew that we were shooting these videos. And I knew that that was one of the things that I wanted to be up on. You know, I'd never seen the movies either. I haven't seen the movies. But I know that it's a thing. We shouldn't, you know what we should have done? We should have done a video where I explained everything that I knew about it before I read the books. You know, because then that would have been funny. Because then I wouldn't have known what's going on.
That was my plan, but you beat me to it.
See, I have video ideas too. But here we go. We're going to talk about, I'm going to explain the plot of all the books, in case you haven't read them. Now, before we start, I do want to say that the books are wonderful. But that is no excuse for the behavior and comments made by the person who wrote them. And if you out there are a trans person who has been impacted by the hateful words of she who shall not be named, see what I did there?
Yes, I did.
Then I want you to know that I love you. Great Aunt Lydia loves you. You will always have a great aunt in your corner. And it's an interesting debate, you know, separating the art from the artist and all of that. But you know, I think that these books have brought so much joy to so many people that they transcend the person who wrote them. So, we are going to talk about them. I would like to point out that I got my book secondhand because I am not giving any money to that woman. I think that if you love this series, then that's great. There are people creating gifts and things on the what's it called, the Etsy. That's a wonderful place to go. You could do that. But trans women are women. Trans men are men. Trans non-binary folk are non-binary folk. That's all I want to say before we get into this. It is exhausting, you know, these people, and I just don't understand. So yes, so I decided to see what all the fuss was about. Okay, so there's this boy, you see, named Harry Potter, and he makes this really bad guy angry as a baby. Or maybe it's his parents to make the bad guy angry. I don't really remember. And, you know, I've read all of them in a short amount of time, and it was a little while ago. But at any rate, bad guy wants to kill the baby Harry. And when he tries, something happens and the bad guy just disappears, you see. And baby Harry is left with, he has a scar and a lightning bolt shape on his forehead, okay, yes. And then there's this really old good wizard, although, you know, good and evil is a matter of perspective, you know, named Albus Dumbledore. No, that's not right. Dumbledore? Bumbledore. Something like that. I don't know. Maybe I've had too much wine. Anyway, he sends baby Harry to live with his aunt and uncle who don't do magic, or they can't do magic, or they won't do magic. They don't like magic, and I don't know why they don't like it. Probably jealousy, perhaps. I don't know. So they're not very nice to Harry at all, and so he grows up, and the story goes on, and it comes back when he's 11. And he gets a letter, but his uncle takes it away. It's a letter addressed to him, which is unusual because he doesn't get a lot of mail. I mean, what 11-year-olds do get a lot of mail? I don't get a lot of mail these days, except for bills, of course, and political mailers. And Spectrum really wants me to sign up for television with them. And I've told them I don't know how many times, no, I have the internet. That's all I need. I have a cellular telephone. I don't need a landline anymore. I'm not that much of an old fuddy-duddy. So more letters come to the house and the family has to run away. And they get tracked down by this giant man who I don't think he's a giant, as in fee-fi-fo-fum. I think he's just very tall. And he tells Harry that he's a wizard. And that he needs to go to school for it, which makes sense. I mean, you doctors go to medical school, and you went to school for your music training. You know, for any sort of specialized training, you should go to school. Although there is, school of the hard knocks in the streets, and depending on what you're going for, school might not be the best option, I suppose. Not everybody learns the same way. Now I've drawn myself into a philosophical corner. But so his aunt and uncle don't want him to go. They don't want him to be magical. They want him to go to some other school where non-magical things happen. But then he goes to the school and he meets some friends. There's Ronald, who is comes from a whole family of wizards, and then there's Hermione, and they don't get along at first. But then something happens. There's a goblin or a troll or something. Something happens, and then they become friends. There's a dragon at some point. I don't think that's not the thing. And there's a 3-headed dog in there. There's a lot of creatures. It just seems like dangerous to have around a school now that I'm thinking about it. Why would you have so many dangerous creatures at a school? There's a teacher there who doesn't like Harry, and I don't know why. Nobody really seems to know why. They just know that he doesn't. And there's a game that's like wizard soccer or football or basketball. Something. It's on broomsticks, and there's goals and things. And Harry almost dies, and they think it's because of that teacher that doesn't like him. They think that teacher did something to cause his broomstick to do something. Bucking bronco of sorts. And so somehow, Harry and his friends find out that the Sorcerer's Stone, which is the title, is hidden at their school, you see. And it's some sort of magical object. And it's not just in Harry Potter books. It's a medieval Renaissance. It's some sort of idea of alchemy, which is not a science. We thought it was a science. There was this idea that you could turn lead into gold, and then there'd be immortal things. And that's the Sorcerer's Stone, as far as from what I can remember. It makes a sort of drink that turns people immortal. And that's why it's at this, I don't know why such a valuable object is at the school. I think it has something to do with Dumble guy, who is very powerful. And they want him to be like the wizard prime minister, because they don't have a president, because it's England. But he doesn't want to be. He wants to continue to teach, but he doesn't teach. He's the principal. I suppose it's teaching, it's education. I see that. But now that I'm thinking of it, Sorcerer's Stone, I don't think they ever explain the difference between a wizard and a sorcerer. And then the warlock is a word. I don't know if that's ever brought up in the book. I don't remember. Anyway, the three kids, the Harry, Ron, and Hermione, they think that the bad teacher is going to steal the Sorcerer's Stone. So they think he's going to steal it, and they go through this maze thing of challenges that the teachers have set up to protect the stone, but they get to the end, and it's not the bad teacher, it's another teacher. And somehow, the bad guy from the beginning is on the back of this guy's head. They don't really say how that works, but he is. He's on the back of his head. guess it's just like another face or something. I don't know. And Terry somehow beats the bad guy again. And the old Dumble guy explains some things to him, but not everything. It just seems very, very complicated. So that's the gist of the story, right? Now, you know, I enjoyed it. It's a very enjoyable book. And first of all, I would love to have a magic wand. I would use it to clean things, really, you know, and maybe turn people who annoy me into something unpleasant. That would be fun. Not very nice, but I mean, if you're not very nice to me, why should I be nice to them? You know. What goes around comes around. What kind of school has a three-headed dog just wandering around the hallway? It just seemed odd. You know, I really identified with the Hermione character. I was a lot like her when I was younger. I still like books and learning. I was a bit of a know-it-all. You know, it's not a bad thing. You should be a bit of a know-it-all if you can. It's not a bad thing. Knowledge is power, as they say. You know, I do find myself curious as to what house I would be in.
There is a quiz.
There's a quiz. There's a website. I'm sure there are many quizzes. There's an official one.
Yeah. Yep.
Would that be supporting her if we went to that website? I'm curious.
I mean, one website view.
Well, I think that's it for this video, YouTube. We're going to talk about the next book in the series in a different video, which is the Secret Chamber. Harry Potter and the Secret Chamber, which I found enjoyable as well. I read it right after this one and before the next one, because that's how I think I've had too much wine. I think I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you give it a like. I hope you subscribe to our channel here, and yeah, have a lovely time out there, all of you. Yes, I think I may have had too much. I feel wonderful, but I don't think we should. I think it's too much for another video.